Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the New Orleans Saints. With that, let's get over to the Mercedes-Benz Superdome with the call from New Orleans. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. This is what it looked like just a moment ago in the heart of New Orleans. Folks, there's no place for this noise to go in the Superdome. It is loud, and these fans are ready for football as their Saints get ready to do battle with the Houston Texans. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that can have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
So out come the Texans for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the second-year man out of Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
What a start to his NFL career as a rookie. 19 touchdown passes in just 6 starts. That was more touchdowns than Joe Flacco, Tyrod Taylor, or Marcus Mariota. And Houston went 1-8 after losing him, which lent credence to many people saying he should have been the Rookie of the Year based on his play and how Houston did without him.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. He'll be dropped at the 30. The shifty move couldn't free him. Credit the tackle to Kurt Coleman. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
Will Fuller is one of the young flyers in the NFL and gets to top speed in just a couple of steps, so everyone has to respect the deep game because he'll blow past people in a hurry. But what that does is leaves open space underneath. He can take the short pass, turn it into a bigger gain because he makes people miss. If he takes care of his hands and doesn't drop a pass or 2 in a game, he's going to be one of the best receivers in the league.
Play action from Miller. Now Watson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third. And now a look at the Saints starting defense.
And the Saints got everything they want out of Marshawn Lattimore and more his rookie season. Yes, the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Here's the best part. Didn't give up a single touchdown pass all season and made it very difficult for people to complete a pass in his area.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. From the gun, here's Watson. Griffin's got it, middle of the field. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Leckler now on as he'll punt this away. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field.
Ready.
Breeze now on first down. He can't get him down. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Breeze now on first down. And this is a catch by Ted Ginn. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. So not much to speak of scoring-wise in this first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. We'll head back to New Orleans after this.
All day, baby, all day.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Saints football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Breeze to throw on second down. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Thomas. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Breeze going to throw. He's got a man open. It's Cameron Meredith. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays, and they didn't seem to want it.
I didn't offer mine.
You know, you were the smart one. Whatever they're doing, though, it's working really well.
Breeze going to come up here, 1st and 10, and he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. To throw, it's Breeze. And Josh Hill has it. And down inside the 15 he goes. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A first opportunity upcoming in the red zone for the Saints. It's 1st and 10 at the 14.
Ready? You ready?
Into the red zone, it's Breeze. And he's not able to get away. Sacked back at the 22. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. On second down, here's Breeze. Over the middle, that's caught by Meredith. And before they can run this third down play, we're going to get a timeout, as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. So the offensive unit called the TO, and now we are ready to resume play. This will be the 8th play of the drive. It's 3rd and 7. Working from the gun, it's Breeze. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on 3rd down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. On 4th down, off goes Drew Brees, and on comes the Saints kicker, Will Lutz, for the field goal attempt. And Lutz's kick is good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. So the first points of the night belong to our home team as they're able to take the opening kickoff and at least get 3 points out of it.
Yeah, and that helps the crowd, right? It helps people feel good about why they're there watching this game. They moved the ball well on their opening drive.
Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
On 1st and 10, Watson caught here by Griffin. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. The final shot before the break, Watson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, right, Brandon. Thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to this slimmed-down version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one's been all about the defense. Just a lone field goal in that first half. And as a result, not too much available in terms of highlights. But that's okay. We've got a full half to go. And to bring it your way, let's get back out to Brandon and Charles.
These offenses seemingly still back at the hotel for the first half. 3-0 our score as the second half gets underway. This one fielded at the 5. The Saints coming out now to take the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. So Bree's going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30.
Ready. We're waiting. Switch up.
They start the second half with Kamara. He finds an opening past the 40. And finally down at the 36-yard line. That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw that on that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 36.
Ready. Waiting. Switch up.
Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Ready. Waiting.
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his second catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their third corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up. Give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
Ready.
Now Breeze throwing on 2nd down. Thomas has got it. Complete. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down.
Ready.
From the gun, it's Breeze. And that is incomplete.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
And Lutz puts this one through. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. Back to throw. On the crossing route, complete. It's Griffin. And he's brought down after a good gain. He got 29 yards that time. He'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. Oh, no, he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Saints. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10.
Waiting.
They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. And now the Texans are going to stop it as they signal for a timeout, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Ingram again. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. And now the Texans want to call another timeout, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action.
Here we go.
And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down.
4 down, 4 down. Ready. You ready?
Breeze gives it up to Ingram. And he'll take this one across the 45 up to about the 46-yard line. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Deshaun Watson and the Texans offense trot back out there. And this is a spot where you can learn a lot about a young quarterback.
And that's why they brought him into the organization, because you don't just bring them in strictly for their talent. You think that they have that something special in them that will allow them to function in these types of situations. Now it's time for them to be clinical and not emotional. You know your play sequence. You know what has to get done. Get the ball to the right people, get out of bounds, and get it downfield and try and score.
Yeah, he's trying to earn his stripes here for a winning drive. Back to throw. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. And call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Well, how about keeping your head about you in this situation? No more timeouts. Finds a way to get out of bounds. Now they can breathe a little bit as they contemplate what to do on the next down.
They'll look to throw. Underneath for Miller. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first. And with 45 seconds showing, he spikes the football. He's back to throw. Caught left side, Hopkins. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. That goes for a gain of 31. And the spike comes here, and that stops the clock at 25 seconds. It's Watson. He's got Fuller. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. And now he stops it with a spike at 8 seconds. So down 6, and they know they need this one on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Illegal touching, offense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Drew Brees with a kneel down, and that ought to do it. The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Saints are winners here as we say so long from New Orleans.